Hello everyone, back to today's second video. So we're in the weekend forecast. You can find the video chat here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a bit. It's underneath the link as there's also written versions. You get to that via the buttons at the top of the page. It's going to be quite an interesting week's weather, and I'll let you have a look and see what you think. This is CANSIPS Saturday. We gave it a bit of a rest last month, but it is back for March. So we're going to be going 6 months ahead with the Canadian model from the website tropicaltidbits.com. You can find the link to Tropical Tidbits on the links page. A big thank you to them for allowing us to use their information. So we're going to be starting this in April, and we're going to be extending through the summer into September. Now, just for fun, as always, with the 6 months look ahead, this one and the CFSB2 6 month look ahead, just for fun, it's a snapshot of what the charts are showing, but don't be taking things too seriously, whatever you do. So have a look at 500 millibar height anomalies in a moment, and then we'll have a look at the corresponding temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with that. We'll see also what the CANSIPS model is predicting to happen in terms of ENSO, El Nino, La Nina, that kind of thing. But before I get on with all of that, just to talk about the ads, says video ads on most pages, say, oh no, content, when you watch them, you can close them back up again, and it does help to pay for gas service.com. So big thanks to everybody getting involved, and thanks for doing that. Right, let's start off with the 500 millibar height anomalies. We're beginning with April. So this is the 500 millibar height anomaly for April 2017. It's just 1 month away, so if the model has this correct, hopefully this is the more reliable part of all of this. So for April, we're seeing an area of above average height centering to our east. So some sort of trough, I think, average height, but it's probably a trough through the Atlantic, and the flow is going something like that. So on the face of it, that's a pretty decent signal for April. I think can have a fair amount of dry weather in with that, and hopefully we will be starting to pull up some continental influences, which of course in April are going to be starting to get a little bit on the warmer side. So a pretty nice month, I think, to start things off. We go through to May, and it's also looking quite good. Slightly above average heights extending through the UK and much of Western Europe as well. I think there's a trough going down through eastern parts of Europe, and probably some sort of trough in the Atlantic as well. The jet stream looks like it should be doing something a little bit like that. So May also looking a fairly decent month with a lot of dry weather, and hopefully the temperatures would be responding to that dry weather and lifting up a bit as well. Out to June, we've got quite a change for June. We've got the ridge centering in the middle of the Atlantic, and then it's a job to see quite what's going on, but I think essentially we're bringing in the jet stream rather like that. So I think it's a more unsettled signal for June, most definitely. I think got a trough probably extending through here, and overall I would expect quite an unsettled month. Also you have hints of a bit of northern blocking up here as well. So I think for June it could be a cooler and more unsettled type scenario. 3 months away, so it's not worth worrying about really, but I think it is a cooler and more unsettled scenario in June. However, July picks things back up again. We've got above average heights, only weakly above average heights, but they are above average, extending from the Atlantic into many central western parts of Europe. The jet stream should be up here somewhere by this point. So I think that's a pretty decent signal again as we go through into July. You know what, I think the CANSIPS could be picking up on a fairly reasonable summer here. Now, August looks interesting because we've got above average heights up here, we've got above average heights going through here, and then there's probably above average heights going through there, I should say, and then probably below average heights, which is low pressure out here. And I would have thought what's likely going on there is that we're doing something like that with the jet stream. So we could be pulling up quite warm air from the south in August. Could be quite wet, but maybe thundery and warm sort of signal for August with CANSIPS. It's 5 months away, so it is in the realm of just for fun, but that could be more of a thundery January type month in August. Then we finish up in September, and look at this again. We're building in those above average heights around many parts of the UK. Again, the jet stream is up through here, going rather like that. So we remain on the warm side of the jet stream, I think, as we go through into the start of the autumn. And with above average heights extending through, you'll expect quite a bit of dry weather to be in there as well. So overall, a lot of dry weather coming up over the next 6 months. Yes, June does look a little bit more unsettled than August. Could be thundery, but I think the scene really is quite dry and generally fairly warm as well. Let's see whether my interpretation is backed up by the temperature and precipitation anomalies. So we're coming back to April, and this is the temperature anomaly from CANSIPS for April. We're coming out with a milder or warmer than average month in April. Let's move through into May, and that is also coming out with above average temperatures. Both of those months looking really quite decent. A lot of high pressure around, so hopefully fairly dry and fairly warm temperatures coming through as well. Now, those above average temperatures continue into June also. And I should just say British Isles is just here in the right hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it. I should have mentioned that really. But the temperature for June is still coming out above average. Now, I thought that looked like a more unsettled month. We'll have a look at precipitation in a moment, but certainly temperature wise it's still coming out fairly warm. And then that continues into July as well. Yes, another warmer than average month coming up for July, fairly significantly so actually, going up to around a degree and a half above average perhaps. So quite a warm July coming up there. And into August, the above average temperatures continue all months so far, coming out warmer than average. And what about September? Can we round it off with another warmer than average month? Yes, we can. Here we go. Temperature anomalies again above average in September as well. So CANSIPS is seeing all 6 months in today's 6 months look ahead to be warmer than average. Quite remarkable. Quite remarkable temperature forecast there. Let's have a look at precipitation then, and this is probably going to be quite as straightforward, but for April, coming back to April again, precipitation is coming out around average really, so it's not a great deviation at all. I would have been more hopeful for a drier than average month in April, but actually it's coming out around average. In fact, Ivan is coming out a little bit wetter than average. May also coming out above average and possibly a little bit on the drier side in May, but again not particularly deviating either way. Very close to average precipitation through both April and May. Now we go through to June. I thought June looked like a more unsettled month, but we're still coming out more or less with average precipitation, and possibly we're even hinting at being ever so slightly on the drier than average side in June. So maybe my interpretation of those 500 millibar height anomalies wasn't quite right, but anyway, that's what it's showing for precipitation for June, and it's around average. July is going drier than average, so a warm and dry pattern in July. That looks like a very, very good summer month, you have to say. And then we go through to August, and this one looks more unsettled in August. And remember, I did think that for August we're probably bringing up southerly winds, so whilst it's a warm month, it could potentially be quite wet and thundery, maybe some big downpours going on in August. Anyway, precipitation normally comes out above average. And then for September, we're back to drier than average again as the high pressure builds back in through the country through September. So a lot of dry weather coming up and a lot of warm weather coming up as well over the next 6 months. And overall, I think the summer does look pretty decent there, particularly July. But August, I think, is very interesting because it possibly has heat and thunderstorms going on. And then we have an extended late summer also, if Body's right, in September. However, that is 6 months away. I have to remind you of that. So let's say it all together. It's just for fun. Finally, having a look at what's happening with ENSO in terms of the model forecast. This is the region we're interested in just here. here. So we're interested in the sea surface temperature anomalies from Peru, which is just there, through to Indonesia over here. In April, we see that the model is predicting warmer than average sea surface temperature anomalies to be rising up through the eastern part of the equatorial Pacific. Is that the signal for El Nino? Let's have a look, and we go through to May and through to June and through to July, and look at this month by month. The temperature anomalies are increasing here through the equatorial Pacific Ocean. So by July, we have a re-emergence. This is El Nino re-emerging here through the equatorial Pacific Ocean. And this continues then into August and into September and into the autumn months. Yes, we've got a very strong El Nino event taking place. Look at that. We've got red colours there from Indonesia here, right way over towards Peru. And if you look at the temperature scale, we're certainly reaching temperature anomalies of 2 degrees again. So the CANSIPS model is going for a strong El Nino event to be in place by the autumn. Now I just run you through to the end of the year. That just strengthens further. So by the end of the year, this is December, yes, we've got a really strong, this is getting towards Super Nino territory again. Actually, we're going up to there on the scale, which is around 2.5 degrees above average. So a really strong El Nino coming back, if the CANSIPS model is right, as we get through to the end of the year. That will be quite remarkable, because we only had a Super Nino for 2015, 2016, so it would be quite remarkable to go back into Super Nino territory again so quickly after the first one. But that's what CANSIPS is doing, and it may be a long way off with this. The general model reliability, or the trend I should say, the general model trend has been a very long day, sorry about that. The general model trend has been to El Nino, so I think we've got already, it's very early days in the year, but I think already we have got pretty good agreement on an El Nino re-emerging. Whether that will get to the Super Nino that it looks like the CANSIPS is going for, I'm doubtful, because it was so soon after the last Super Nino. But let's wait and see where this is going. It could be that El Nino is going to be off and running again, and really going to spike the Earth's temperatures yet again, and throw the weather system into chaos later on this year. We'll have to wait and see, but that's what the CANSIPS is doing for this month. Right, don't forget to check out Weekend Forecast if you haven't yet done so. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.